So today topic is constraint. So I think you have listened this word in SQL. Okay. So constraint. What is constraint? And we will talk about the all the types of constraint. So let's start with the constraint. So when you listen this word, what do you think? Constraint means something has limit, something has rule. So constraint means it is a rule. It is a rule of the column. It is a rule given to the column for validation. What is meant by validation? Validate the each field. Each field means here field in the term of column name of the table. Like ID. ID should be always in number. Name should be in a string. Course should be in a string. Teacher, who is the teacher, and the number of class. You can say that when you listen the number of class, you can imagine that the number of class in the count value, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are the validation, the types you set to the particular column. This is the validation. So what is constraint? Constraint is a rule given to a column. This column given to a column. ID should be in number, a string name should be in a string. For validation purpose, we will apply the constraint. Now we will move to next topic. What is constraint and the types of the constraint in SQL? So there are five types of constraint in SQL. In SQL, okay. So what are the types of constraint? So first constraint is unique. Unique is one of the constraint, and where we apply these constraint, we apply these constraint to the column name. Column name. We apply this constraint to the column name. Second is not null. The second constraint in SQL is not null. And the third constraint is check. And the fourth constraint is primary key. And the fifth constraint is the foreign key. Let me talk about one by one constraint. So I told first constraint is the unique. So unique constraint, what is unique? What you mean by unique constraint? So let's understand what is mean by unique constraint. It is used to avoid the duplicate or repeat value into the column. Okay. So imagine ID has duplicate value. Two, suppose ID has 1 and 2, then again 2. So it means this constraint means unique constraint is avoid means it remove the duplicate value, a duplicate entry into the particular column name, into the particular column name. It is used to avoid the duplicate value into the column. Okay, and the second constraint is not null. So what is mean by not null? The value should be not null. The value should be something. It's not showing the not null. Okay. So inside the suppose name, yeah, suppose you can imagine the ID. ID is a roll number. So okay, roll number 1, 2, 3, 4. So each cell has some particular value, particular number. You cannot say that null is the roll number. Okay, you cannot say like that. Okay, so not null is the another constraint, and it is used to avoid the null value into the column, not at a table, into the column. It's particular column field name we can apply. So the third thing is the check. By using the check constraint, we check some validation. Like you can say that like here is the name. So you can check the name of the person, the name of the student. So you can check the ID. Is ID is existing or not? These types of constraint we can do if you check. Like the you have to check the phone number. So you know the length of the phone number is 10. So this type of check you can be done by using the these types of validation you can be done by using the check. Okay. So the next part is primary key. So primary key is very important in the SQL, in not in the SQL, in any RDBMS database. Okay. So primary key. So let's just see what's the unique features of the primary key. Okay. So it is used to uniquely identify the table. So imagine this is a table. So who is the unique identification? So ID denotes this table has unique identification. This table has unique identification. How to check unique identification? So in unique identification, so in each table, there is only one unique identification in the table. Like here ID. ID must be unique. Must be unique means no repeated value and not null value. Okay. So here you can see that if this has person ID. Person ID is the primary key because all the value in the column is some value, not null. You can say that. And all the value is unique. So here is say that key all the value into the primary key, those who have primary key, then the value inside the primary key column is not repeated, not duplicate. So it is always a combination of not null concept. I had said if the column is primary key, then the value is not be null. So it's the combination of the unique and not null concept. What is the unique? Unique is it is used to avoid a duplicate value, not duplicate value. Yes, here you can see that any duplicate value, no, and you can say that not null. So in this column, you can see any duplicate value and any null value, no. So this is the primary key of our table. So the question is, there can be multiple primary key? No, only one primary key in the single table. So this is the person table. And inside the person table, only one primary key. The primary key is the person ID. Person ID is the primary key who has uniquely identified this person table. So let me talk about the next constraint in the SQL. So that is the foreign key. So foreign key, the features of, let's see the features of the foreign key. So it is used to establish a connection between the table. Suppose you have two table, one table, two table, and you have to make a connection between two table. So you have to use the foreign key. So foreign key is the main purpose of used to establish make to establish a connection between the table, and the foreign key can accept duplicate and null value. Yes, foreign key can be accept the duplicate value and null value also. Okay, in the foreign key, you can give the null value, you can give the duplicate value. Okay, also, so foreign key can accept null value also, and foreign key can be repeated. Okay, so foreign key is the present in the child that always belong to the parent. Let make you understand from here. Okay. So so here you can see that this is a person table and this is the order table. So person had ordered something like This person has ordered food, biryani, and these all are things. So you can see that here is person ID is the column name of the person table, and this is the primary key of the person table. Okay, and you can see that this person ID is also present in the order table. Okay, and you can see that the ID is exactly matched. You can say that ID is exactly matched. So you can say that this table has connection. This table has some relation between these two. So those column which is present in the parent, this is the parent, okay, and this is the child, okay. So this column is also present in here. So we can say that this has the primary key. This is the primary key. Person ID is the primary key. Okay. And next, in order table, you can see that order ID is also unique. You can see that order ID is not null and order ID is not a repeated value. So you can say that the order ID is also a primary key of the order table. So how to see any column is primary key or not? So see the value. If the value is repeated, then that is not a primary key. Okay, that may be foreign key. Maybe it's not mandatory to be foreign key. Okay, so I think you have